Hi everyone, it's StariAri, and I'm here to give you guys your weekly transits for January 11th to the 17th. Okay, so we're going to start here with Monday. So we have a lot of things happening for this week, so just be mindful of the transits. Work with each planet if you can, especially if it's somehow squaring one of your natal planets too, or whatever's going on in your, I would say, even in your life, it is important to work with each planetary element to assist you through what's happening there. Okay. So when I say this, is that means that you have to connect to the planet. So you could do this via meditation or even prayer, where you just say, oh, I was like a prayer of gratitude. Maybe that'll be something very beneficial for you, where you're just like, thank you, planet Mercury, for example, for assisting me with, holding on to whatever Mercury is going to provide for you for that day. Just fill in the blanks, whatever feels good for you. I always recommend doing meditation, because meditation is a very quick and direct link to each planetary energy, and even to your own guides, or even your own guidance too. But whatever it is that you're doing for this, or working with this energy for this week, it is just very important for you to do that. Okay, to really connect, to really understand yourself better through these planetary alignments and transits. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. So anyway, on Monday the 11th, we have Mercury conjoins Jupiter at 5 degrees Aquarius, and this is we've had very serious energy before. I would say even 2 days ago, where you had Mercury aligning with Saturn. But today, we have a very optimistic energy coming in because of Jupiter. So this is all about new opportunities, new beginnings, expansions, and thinking and communicating in a higher way. When I say that, I mean in a more intellectual but also mindful type of way, very open-minded, I would say, communications and receiving of information here. Okay, so this is kind of like the teacher and the student collaborating together. You can become the teacher and the student at the same time, meaning that there might be some things that you want to explore, learn from others, or you might be the one teaching something this week or today, I would say. So anyway, pay attention to that. Also, pay attention to what you're being taught and what you're hearing. And receiving information wise today. I know it's been rough for these past, I would say the past year has been really rough for a lot of us, but it is important for us to have a very much of a optimistic point of view to these harsh energies, because these are ultimately assisting all of us, collectively speaking, on this earth to be better people. Even though we might think that others around us, or even in our society, lack empathy, or lack understanding of others, or are too stubborn to see their flaws, and are not willing to collaborate or to work with others, things like that. The more that we think about people in a negative way, the more that we are sending that energy out for the experience to happen once again, so the cycle never ends. Okay, so it's a good thing to have more of a positive outlook. It doesn't mean that you're spiritually bypassing or anything like that, but it's more like trying to understand where these people are coming from, or why they have that type of mentality. Because I know a lot of people are having like these negative feedbacks or negative energy bombarding them, because the collective consciousness right now is struggling to release and heal and move beyond that old paradigm mentality. Okay, we're trying to move past this. We're trying to get rid of the control matrix, okay, so to speak, and move on with our lives into something much better, something much more reliable and stable for everyone. Okay, so moving on, we have Mercury in Aquarius sextiles Chiron and Aries. This happened already, like in the 9:23 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, by the way. So this is aligning us with the wounded healer here. This is a great day for healing conversations. So really expressing yourself and the way that you think of a situation. What you have experienced in a situation might be different from somebody else's experience, somebody else's perception of it. Okay, so this is a very important energy to work with when you have to come together and really speak your truths, okay, so that any type of problems or miscommunication issues can be resolved here. Okay, so being honest, being open to receiving somebody else's honesty too is key here. Okay, because if we want to express ourselves and just divulge everything that we feel, or the way that somebody made us feel by the words that they spoke, then we need to be willing to do the same for them. Okay, so that's the key one right here for this energy, to work for us, okay, not against us. So around 9:49 a.m. we had Jupiter in Aquarius sextile Chiron and Aries. So with this being said, um, so Jupiter in Aquarius too. So we have a lot going on with the Chiron and Aries energy here. I feel like this one, the Jupiter and Chiron energy, is going to be amazing for deep awareness when it comes to the healing. These conversations that you probably had for the Mercury in Aquarius energy, then bringing in that Jupiter and Aquarius right after, will have more of like an expansive point of view of or the bigger picture of what really happened in this situation, what was really said, what was really done, things like that, so that there's a key point here of processing the wounds, but also realizing that there's definite lessons that were learned, as well as the wisdom that you've acquired from these lessons to be applicable to new situations in your life. Maybe there's a cycle that you are going through right now with a certain person, and it kind of reminds you of a similar cycle from the past. I've had these similar cycles before, especially like in friendships with women in particular, where I would say, and to me, I don't like judging people, but I'm going to be honest. I've devoted my life into being honest, and to really expressing how I feel. Sometimes, when I was younger, it was kind of like foot and mouth syndrome, where I was too harsh, where I was too direct, and it actually affected my relationships with certain women that are more delicate. But I feel that because they hid too much of how they felt, and they didn't correct me at the time, where they're just like, hey, I didn't appreciate you being so direct, or that really hurt my feelings. I would see it as, okay, they didn't really think that was anything wrong with that conversation, or if you're not being corrected on your behavior, how are you going to think that your behavior is wrong, right? Especially when you're younger, when you're a kid, or when you're a teenager. And so that's what I felt like the correction had to be something from a person that really does know you, or from even a person that won't be afraid to tell you the truth, right? Not be afraid to really correct your behavior or the words that you're using, and tell you exactly how they feel about that. And that's what, in many of my relationships with feminines, I have a lot of friends who are like that, who are very expressive, who help me be a better person. But again, the problems that I had with feminines were the ones that held back, that never told me the truth, right? Those were my situations. Those were the problems that I ran into. So this energy here, it's going to be very profound, especially with the feminine energy, because there's a clash between the masculine and the feminine. I'm a very masculine energy myself. I've been enthralled and engulfed in masculinity my entire life, pretty much. Like, my mom is very masculine, but she masculine in the way that she took over the role of both mother and father, and she was a disciplinarian, and she was also very critical as well as very hardworking. So she took on the role of the masculine more than the feminine, I would say, when I was growing up. And she's very strong because of it, and very strong-willed as well, which I ran into that problem when I was a teenager. But anyway, then I went into the military, and that's all masculine, very masculine energy there. And so I was engulfed in this masculinity for a very long time. And so this energy with Chiron, Aries, sextile Jupiter, and Aquarius, this energy is perfect for those who are having a hard time with balancing both of these energies. With maybe there's lack of the feminine in some of our, in some of our personalities, or there's a denial of the feminine because we deny our emotions, or we deny the way that we want to express ourselves in such a way that we think femininity is being rejected within us because we probably think it's weakness, or maybe we are overly feminine and we are rejecting the masculine because we think it's too harsh or it's too just negative for us, which is totally, not the case. That's why it has to be balanced. So that's why it's very important for this energy to really be honed in on, and really be used by you if you're having situations like this. So the Chiron and Aries is all about a healing journey here with the wounded masculine, and the wounded feminine too. It's not just highlighting the masculine, it's about balance here, you guys. So that's important for all of us to do. Okay, so moving on to Tuesday, we have the 12th, of course, of January. So we have Mercury in Aquarius squares retrograde Uranus in Taurus. So we have a lot of planets in Taurus at this time. And this is going to be kind of like working with the energies of, Mercury that represents the lower mind, and Uranus that represents the higher mind here. So we can have a lot of, revelations with this, okay? Unexpected insights, even kind of like truth being told to us. So this is very important for us to really be open to receiving information, even if the truth hurts, so to speak, or even if we don't really want to see that side of the story, right? We're looking at the bigger picture here with the Uranus energy. We're being asked to look at all sides of the story, not just be one-sided, not just be, left brain or right brain, or whatnot. But it is very important for us to be willing to receive information, be willing to see the truth and speak the truth, and understand that, a lot of the things that we might have perceived before in the past are definitely not the way that they are, because our filter might have been skewed because of our own prejudices, our own dislikes or belief system here. Okay, so be willing to change that rigid ideology that you probably had ingrained in you based on, again, the way that you were raised, or even your own beliefs. Okay, so that's what we're going to be seeing. And then we also have Venus in Capricorn squaring Chiron in Aries at 1:04 p.m. So this is all about, again, pain rising up again, old wounds that are surrounding our relationships, our self-worth, self-love, money and abundance, and also, stability. Okay, Venus in Capricorn is a very traditional energy, is all about commitments and working with people to really accomplish a stable life, home, or even career, money making, stability in that sense too. So it's a very, very traditional route to take with this Venus and Capricorn energy. But a lot of the things that stops it from moving on is because it's not ready for, or it's unwilling to change, because they don't see the future, or they cannot predict what's the outcome of something if they do veer off from the traditional path. Okay, so this is what you'll be finding with this type of energy: is there is fear around, safety and security, and not wanting to take that leap of faith into something different that you are not ready for, you're not aware of actually having success in. Okay, and so you will see this happening with, if you are being told, hey, at this time, there is a better route to take when it comes to, where you're living, moving to a different state, moving to a different city, or even across the street or something, or even moving into a different career or path, or the way that you make money that's very different from what you're used to, the stability that you're used to. And so that's what you're running into with this energy, is the fear of walking away from something that is a sure thing, over something that you are just not seeing how it's going to play out yet. Okay, so the same applies to relationships with people. The relationship that you're in, even though you've been with this person for over however years, you know if it's a decline in communication, if there's a decline in love, a decline in whatever it is that you're experiencing in this relationship, uh, then, because there's always going to be there, doesn't mean that it's a relationship that you should stick with. Okay, so this is what you're going to start to see in these types of dynamics: of fear of letting go, fear of moving on with your life. Okay, so be willing to question yourself, be willing to question your life purpose, or why you're here, or why do you still remain in these circumstances, or even in these relationships, or even in these homes. And just make sure that you're questioning yourself and have a plan of action if you truly desire to break free. Okay, so moving on, we have Venus in Capricorn, semi-sextile Jupiter in Aquarius here. So I would say, like, for February, around this same time, I would say like February, the second week of February, Venus conjunct Jupiter is kind of like a mirror aspect to this energy, because it's Venus and Jupiter. We're going to see like the new Venus and Jupiter cycle in February, put it that way. So Venus and Jupiter is going to be great for like social connections, having fun, enjoying, life to the fullest, I would say. Um, and so this is definitely all about focusing on the pleasures of life here, and doing things like big, like big parties, big celebrations, things like that. Like go big or go home type of personalities or type of energies. Okay, so we also have this Saturn that is focused on work, on career, on new things coming in when it comes to that career or business ventures, communicating in a very direct way, but not cutting or burning bridges type of way, more of like a divine wisdom type of way. But we also see, like, kind of like at the end of the previous Venus cycle, that there are things that were ending and things that are coming to completion here. Okay, so we're being asked to create new, like, space for the new. And then of course we had that Capricorn new moon coming in at 23 degrees, and so it's going to come in and it's going to be exact, like the energy is going to be exact at 9 p.m. on Tuesday. So this is all about a new lunar cycle, a new focus on something that is very important for you. So it could be work, career, uh, government, authority, and stability. in abundance. Okay, so whatever is going on, whatever you need to work on and focus on, allow the new moon in Capricorn to assist you with it. Okay, especially when it comes to you working towards a goal, or choosing a different direction in your career. Okay, so we have, let's see what else. Oh yeah, so this new moon is conjunct Pluto, square Eris. So this is triggering the Pluto Eris square again. um, so it feels like it's definitely illuminating the shadow that is hidden in plain sight for us. So what we are seeing in our government, especially in the United States, that shadow that was hidden in plain sight is definitely up there or out there for us to see. Again, don't play into the manipulation tactics of either side, okay? Because there's plenty of it. There are people who are all about just saying things just to appease us so that we won't retaliate, so that we won't force them to actually take action on things. So all of that is like words. The words that they're using are the manipulation that they're using against us. Things, look at these situations, understanding that because of this square in Aries, there's going to be more triggers on about the old patriarchal paradigm versus the new paradigm that we're trying to come into. Okay, we're also seeing a lot of things that are moving us towards illuminating the truth, which is the truth in the shadows right before us. But it's important for us to understand that it's going to be time when we're going to be asked whether or not we want to choose to continue with these old outdated patriarchal cycles of the old paradigm of us versus them, of this whole fixation on the two-party system versus something brand new, something that might be very different from what we're used to, but it might even be more beneficial. I'm not talking about communism, socialism. We all know that shit doesn't work either. I'm talking about something new, something that is going to be completely different from what humanity is used to. Okay, just beware of that, because we are manifesting this. Okay, very different. We don't even know how it's going to look like. We're not being told how it's going to look like, because we don't want people to manipulate it. Okay, we don't want this beautiful new world to be manipulated by ego or by those who are going to try to take advantage of us once more. Okay, so again, so we're definitely seeing this change, this trigger with the squares. And but it's very important for us to realize that, we have to stop seeing that whatever's going on in our world as obviously not working. Okay, nothing is working out for everyone, and so that's why there needs to be a big uprooting of light into the shadow. Okay, so like from darkness to light, so to speak. So moving on with Wednesday, so we have for Wednesday Sun in Capricorn squaring Eris in Aries, which is now direct, and this is creating a lot of triggers, I would say, with Eris, because the Sun and Mercury and Ceres, but also because Saturn and Pluto in a very few days, and it's kind of like at the end of the month, this is where the energy is going to be much more triggering and exposing a lot of the corruption within our leadership, the corruption within our societies as a whole. Okay, so stay open to receiving new information. Stay open. Do not choose sides. Be the observer at this time until you receive enough information, and however it is that you want to take action on situations, especially the situations that you have control over. Okay, so, and we have Mars and Taurus squaring Saturn in Aquarius as well to this day. And this is starting at 3 a.m. in the morning. So malevolent energy. And this is this is a very destructive energy here. But I don't think that destruction is necessarily evil. It's more or less shadows that are being uprooted in order for them to be healed. Okay, so everything that has a shadow, everything has polarity in this world. Of course, we have shadow, we have light, we have yin and we have yang, and then we are able to harness or come into a state of balance, so in the middle, and harness both. Okay, that'll benefit us ultimately. So the destruction of something that we know isn't working is actually a good thing. Okay, so this is going to really create tension between power and control dynamics in our government, in our leadership, in our society. We are going to definitely see a lot of our leadership go very, I would say, you're already seeing how crazy they are, you guys. You already seen the words that they use to manipulate us, the hatred in them, the forcefulness of their words. Like, these people believe that we are stupid. Like, they really believe that we are ignorant, that we don't know any better, and we can't govern ourselves. You know, they really believe that, you guys. And so they would say whatever it takes to get to us, to trigger us, to push our buttons, and to create that separation game that they thrive on. Because when we are separated, they win. Okay, they continue to be in charge, they continue to rule over us and suppress us. Okay, so that's what this is going to be. It's like the wills versus egos of a power struggle, you know, self-righteousness versus, you know, whatever. And so it just feels like this Mars and Taurus is definitely going to dig its heels and resist change. And Saturn in Aquarius is all about pushing against you know, like pushing the I would say Taurus, Mars and Taurus, into the light, into you know, stop resisting the changes that are coming, you know, things like that. So this is all about balance and self-mastery, and it's very important for us to again allow ourselves to really see things for what they are. And if we have the authority and power to do so, which we do, to really assist all humanity to shift from this old paradigm into the new paradigm. It's very important with this energy. So moving on, we have Mars and Taurus semi-square the mean north node in Gemini. And so we also have, I would say, right after this, Saturn in Aquarius says it quadrates the north node in Gemini too. So we have a Mars Saturn square aspecting the node of destiny and evolution, which is Gemini. So watch out for the old paradigm trying to hold you back again, and not wanting you to let it go. It is all smoke and mirrors at this time, you guys. You know, all of this, we've done this already. All of this has already transpired. All of this has already existed in our, I would say, in our you know, lives, and it's time for us to shift. Okay, it's time for us to shift from that dualistic mindset into equilibrium here. Okay, so anything that you're holding on to or not able to let go, it's time for you to do that. It's time for you to make changes, because we are having to receive information from the higher realms that we're needing to let go of these things. Okay, we're needing to really connect to our higher selves, our higher aspects, and bring that into this world, because the new world of Aquarius requires that. It requires all of us to be willing to do that. All of us. That means all of us on this planet need to be, you know, willing to change in order for the new age to come in, okay, smoothly, I would say, or else it's gonna come in and bombard us and be chaotic, whatever. It's already doing that, but it's definitely a conscious effort on all of us to make these changes. Okay, so Saturn also prefers to hold on to the past, and that's why we are feeling that. The North Node in Gemini speaks about the new ideas or new informations that are coming in, new ways of communicating and connecting with one another, coming back from the students of wanting to learn something new and applying the knowledge into a new way of thinking, a new way of being. Okay, so it's kind of like we're starting over once more here, a new beginning, a fresh new start, so that we can build better or stronger foundations from this. Okay, so it's all about integrity. It's all about changes. It's all about allowing yourself to allow the fresh new start of the age of Aquarius to actually commence. Okay, so moving on, we have Venus in Capricorn trine retrograde Uranus in Taurus. This energy is all about linking with amazing new opportunities for growth and evolution when it comes to relationships, when it comes to changes in relationships, when it comes to patterns that need to be ended and understood, when it comes to a new paradigm shift with relationships, expansion and evolution. Our values need to evolve as well. They need to be understood as to what is actually working for us and what isn't. And we have to be open to a deeper understanding of who we are, a deeper understanding of our self-worth and self-love here. Okay, so Uranus and Taurus is definitely all about revolutionizing our way of thinking, a way of perceiving the world, our values, and helping us to really embody this more without hesitation, without apology. Okay, so this is also needed now more than anything on this planet. So rather than escaping, rather than denying, rather than pointing the finger at someone else, it is important for us to really stay focused on what we want to create, that new world that we want, a new paradigm, the age of Aquarius that we want to bring in, and really focus on that. Really focus on what positive steps you want to take for a new career, a new goal, a new opportunity, a new relationship, new things that are coming in for you, especially with abundance and prosperity in mind. Okay, so moving on, we have Thursday. So for Thursday, we have Uranus stations direct at 6 degrees Taurus. So this is kind of like, I would say, for the few months before this, we've had Uranus retrograde, and this kind of has been a time of focusing our energies into change within. Okay, but now it is definitely waking up to really making the change happen. You know, the big shifts, the outer movement happen. So it's, instead of being internal, it's now an external thing. Okay, so this week, even this month, this impulsive energy is definitely going to be high. We are going to need to embrace the changes. We're going to need to seek balance and grounding and stability, but we're also being told to really look at things in a way of allowing yourself to flow and change, just like energy changes continuously. Okay, this is a very powerful shift that is occurring, and because of the potent new moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto and square is stationary direct to Eris, we are definitely going to feel like there's a very, I would say, trickster type of energy here, where you're going to be open to the shifts and change, but you have to be careful with the impulsive, reactive, conflict-oriented nature of this energy too. Okay, so Uranus energy is going to be all about moving in from the old into the new. Okay, just make sure you can really be mindful of not not reacting so much to what other people are saying or doing. Okay, it's more about observation, and then when you do gather enough data or information, then you could take action on what you've observed or what you need to do. Okay. So let's see. So all of the planets, I would say, are direct now for these next 2 weeks. Okay, so this is the very important time for you to really take action and move things along in your life, especially if you want to make new changes into your life, in whatever areas of your life that may be. It's important for you to really respond to these situations instead of reacting unconsciously to them. Okay, so around 6:19 a.m. we have the sun conjoins Pluto at 24 degrees Capricorn, and then so the sun is triggering this Pluto Aries square as well. Um, Kind of like, I would say, exposing the shadow again. So the sun Pluto can be about transformation and evolution, but could also be kind of like very intense when it comes to unearthing the power control dynamics that we have in our society. It's going to be very forceful for us, especially for those who are unwilling to see the truth and or the shadows that have been hidden in front of us this whole time. So use this energy and dive deep into the shadow work that needs to be done for transformation to come in. Okay, so that's what it is. It's all about embracing the shadows, embracing change here. Okay, so then we have Mars in Taurus, semi-square Neptune in Pisces. And this is kind of like, I would say, Mars and Neptune is a spiritual warrior type of energy. This energy is here to help us to be more of service to one another. But there is also a very intense shadow side of this where we might find that we are in denial about the actions that we've taken before or we need to take now. Okay, or we do not take the way that someone is trying to communicate or express themselves seriously. This might be kind of like another thing about being honest, having integrity that's going to come into play. You might have situations that surround these two ideas where you might be kind of asked to really stop holding on to old belief systems and stop holding on to the old paradigm that doesn't serve anyone but the 1%. So it's very important for us to really be of service to everyone as a whole, as a collective consciousness, instead of just serving the ideals or the beliefs or protecting those who wish to continue to do harm and manipulate us. Okay, so moving on, we have Friday. So Friday, there really isn't many major aspects here. But the moon is in Aquarius and Pisces is going to move into Pisces throughout the day. So this is kind of like activating the final signs, of course, of the, uh, you know, of the zodiac, which is going to be focusing on emotional energy and communication of the spiritual reality that is around us and within us. So this is kind of like a good opportunity for you to network or connect with like-minded people when it comes to spirituality in this truth. Okay, so that you can gain more information or learn more from others and be willing to express your own beliefs as well. Okay, so moving on, for Saturday, we have, and I'm looking over here because I do have my chart right here. So if you guys are wondering what are you looking at? So for Saturday, we have Mercury conjoins Pallas Athena at 13 degrees Aquarius. So this is kind of like all about paying attention to the things that we are thinking of what we're hearing, what we're saying, what we're reading, what we're being fed. Okay. uh, Even any type of communication, I would say, even with music, what tones are being used in the music, is there a hidden manipulative message, things like that too. Okay. And then trying to get away from these musics, any type of music that makes you feel low vibe or is judgmental or is toxic. Okay, because we're trying to raise our vibration with this energy. Especially, it is important for us to seek higher vibrational things to do, like reading something that is much more beneficial for you, that lifts your spirit, that helps you through your day, I would say. Any type of insights that are communicated from the higher realms through meditation, through us, being creative, things like that is super important to work with in this day, especially because your awareness is going to be shifting here from lower vibrational things, from things that you used to like, to things that you know you are curious about here. So a lot of things are happening in the world. A lot of the, I would say, music industry is going to start suffering failures and pretty much implode in itself too, because of the bad quality music that they keep feeding us, and making us think that it's good quality music when it's not. Okay. Um so we are going to start doing this shift pretty soon, where we're going to just seek out anything that's higher vibrational, anything that raises our consciousness and awareness to who we are in the, like, as a spirit, in this material world. So moving on. So we have Sunday, the 17th. So we have Jupiter in Aquarius squares direct Uranus and Taurus. So this energy is now direct Uranus and Taurus one. Okay, so Jupiter and Uranus are the most freedom loving type of planets. I swear to God, we really are. Like, like everyone who is born or who has a high amount of Jupiter or even Uranus in their chart knows that there's like things that you just can't handle, especially restrictions. So much of that they can kind of overdo it. Remember, restrictions are bad. I'm gonna fight against everything. That's what you probably would feel like you're overdoing, or it's like you're always trying to fight against somebody trying to tell you how to do things. Rebellious nature of these energies are going to be even more highlighted this day. Okay, so I would say don't overdo it, because you might regret your choices or the words that you've spoken in that type of triggered reaction towards someone. Okay, so back in December, like on the 21st, we had Jupiter conjunct Saturn, and today we have Jupiter square Uranus. So for the last month, we've had Jupiter triggering that Saturn Uranus square. And it's going to be exact for the first time in February coming up. Okay, so Saturn square Uranus is a battle between the old versus the new, yin versus yang, patriarch paradigm versus the age of Aquarius, or the new paradigm. And so it is definitely going to focus on the community, on the collective consciousness here on this planet. Jupiter and Aquarius wants freedom and change right now, like instantaneous like instant gratification. Jupiter's that all about instant gratification. And even Uranus is like, let's do it. Let's get this done. So let's stop fucking around and let's get this done, pretty much. So, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, of course, but in Taurus, it can reveal fear and resistance to change. So be aware of that. We may also be feeling like we are between we feel like a caged animal, so to speak, with this energy, and we must be aware of any reactive energy that we might take on because of these circumstances. So responding with wisdom, with acknowledgement, with really focusing on the bigger picture is much more important than reacting. Okay, reacting with just wanting things to change now and trying to force change. Okay, that's what we are going to be facing with this energy. So dealing with the past in a healthy way is important in order for us to allow a new future to come in. Okay, so grounding is very important. Connecting in a meditative way to the higher realms, the information that we're being asked to download. Even going outside in nature, anything that brings you grounding and creativity is super important for this energy to just be released. Okay, because I feel like that Jupiter and Uranus energy is definitely about wanting changes to happen right away. So if we don't get the changes that we want to happen right away, like instantaneously, really like quickly, satisfying us quickly or whatever, then we are gonna have it, compile into us, and it might come out as a big explosion later on. So it's important for you to keep yourself busy, to keep your mind busy, to keep your body busy, through focusing on higher dimensional connections, higher vibrational things. Okay, so moving on, we have Mars and Taurus semi-sextile Chiron and Aries here, and this is happening like at 10:44 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Mars and Chiron energy is great for bringing us awareness about the actions that we need to take when it comes to wanting to move forward with our lives, when it comes to any type of healing that needs to be done, especially when it comes to these transitions that we're going through in this material world. The Mars in Taurus is grounded and is also very resistant to change. So it's kind of like it prefers the security of the old paradigm over the uncertainty of the new paradigm. So we have to definitely seek out what needs to be healed about that. Why is it that we are resisting to change, collectively speaking? If you are afraid of not knowing how things are going to turn out with your government, or not knowing what the new age of Aquarius is bringing in, because again, this is something that has never, there's no freaking way that we could even think about how this is going to look like. There's no real indicator on how that, honestly, how humanity is going to shift here, or what we're going to be creating as a whole consciousness on this planet, of shifting the vibration, shifting into the age of Aquarius. It's just very different. It's just uncharted waters, I would say. Nothing has been done like this in our collective consciousness, and so that being said, that Mars and Taurus is fearful of this because they don't know what the outcome is going to be. They don't know how things are going to happen. They don't like to be unsure of how their future is going to be, and so it is very important for us to heal this about this aspect, work with this aspect to heal that about yourself. Any fear that you have surrounding that, of the new age of Aquarius, and letting go of old paradigm, letting go of the way that we think of making money, things like that, is very important for this day. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys, and so we're going to move on to the readings now. See what we have for this week, you guys. All right, here we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The High Priestess. Nice. All right, so there definitely is a very mysterious energy surrounding what's happening on this planet, especially revealing the truth of what has been hidden in plain sight, so to speak. And I feel like the High Priestess is a great energy for us to work with, to assist us with this, and even to assist us with being fearful of the truth and how it's going to be perceived by us, or by other people that we are, you know, around. I would say the high priestess definitely reveals the wisdom within the shadows, within what is hidden, of the mysteries, and it's important for us to really connect in that way, and connect to the higher realms, and be reassured by whomever we connect to in the higher realms, like our higher self, or our guides, that things are going to turn out, the way they're supposed to turn out. Everything is as it should be. Okay, the shifting of this new, from old paradigm to new paradigm, is as it should be. We cannot force things to shift. All we can do is directly affect how we perceive things and how we take action in our lives. Okay, the high priestess is asking us to really focus on the internal self, on our connections to the cosmic consciousness, so that we can understand why things are happening the way that they are. Looking at astrology, I find that it is definitely much more reassured. Like, I feel more reassured of the transitions that are happening around us in our global community, because the astrology is exactly telling us what is coming up, right? So that we can best prepare ourselves, mentally speaking and emotionally speaking, for the changes that are coming. Okay, but I would say definitely take consideration, um, when it comes to your intuition, when it comes to the information that you receive from your inner self or higher realms and things like that. Okay, so moving on, we have the high priestess as the focus of the energy. So for Monday and Tuesday, we have the five of air. So the five of air is definitely challenging energy. So this is the equivalent of the five of swords. This is about chaos, division, and I would say wanting to be right type of energy. So this might have this you might have this reaction to situations in your life, especially when you're confronted with people with opposing points of view, where you want to fight against them instead of learning from them, or you want to push back and say, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, or vice versa. They might do that to you, but to me it feels like, taking time to really listen to their points, and then respond instead of react, like I said before with the transits, is super important for this energy, because everyone has their own beliefs, everyone has their own motives, everyone has their own mission here, and so it is important for us to unify in the diversity that we are in order for us to succeed in shifting our mindsets, as well as opening our minds up to new ideas, and receiving this information, because we're supposed to collaborate, with the age of Aquarius. It's all about collaboration. It's not about you know who's right and who's wrong here. Okay, it's not about division, and so it's important for us to see that, and you'll see this type of energy play out with other people in your life. You'll see people that are still focused on polarity, on who's right and who's wrong, and divisiveness. Okay, so just be aware of this energy for Monday. Moving on, we have the energy for Wednesday and Thursday. So the Six of Earth. So the Six of Earth is all about receiving money. like you see this guy is weighing his money, but it looks like the scale is actually even right now before he puts this coin down. So right now his scale is even, and then he's gonna put a coin down, and it's gonna be like, boop, like damn, that's a lot of money here. So this is all about focusing on new opportunities to make money, a new career venture, receiving information, being paid, paying your debts off and things like that. So I feel like this is also karmic debt, where we've accumulated a lot of karmic debt, and now we are balancing it out through cycles that are coming in, such as like the five of air, through these types of situations where we have an opportunity to really heal aspects of ourselves, to really understand other people, to allow ourselves to learn and to grow from our mistakes here. Okay, so if you're being confronted with a situation where, again, the energies might be like someone might be very harsh, again, like I said before, they might see things in black and white instead of the middle ground, then it is an opportunity for you to learn why they still do that or why they're focused on that, and for you to express your own truth or to teach here. Okay, so the six of the earth is all about that. It's like the rewards that you're gaining after the karmic cycles that you are going through here for Monday are completed. Okay, after that opportunity that rose up once more is definitely worked through. Okay, so there we go. And then we have let me just put these here so I can kind of remind you guys of what we just drew. All right, so then we have for the weekend the 10 of earth. So the 10 of earth is a completion of a cycle here. Okay, so you see how we have a lot of earth energy. So we are in Capricorn energy still, and so this kind of, and then we also have the Mars and Taurus, and then you're, you know, all this earth energy in this uh the transits too have expressed a lot of Taurus energy too. So we have a lot of earth energy here. But the 10 of earth is all about really realigning ourselves to refocus on what matters to us. And it also is about refocusing on the family. Okay, a refocus on the family. And to me, I feel that it's a refocus on the expanded family too, like kind of like the human or global family here. So if we want to find peace, if we want to really find balance and abundance here with our home lives, everything externally has to happen too, like it has to shift too. So that happily ever after has to definitely have a ripple effect on our community as a whole as well. Okay, so I feel like this cycle is bringing this opportunity to really look at what we can do within our own homes that'll have a positive effect on our community life. Okay, or on our society as a whole. Okay, and so to me it's all about finding that sweet spot or the magic within yourself to really have a change in a positive direction or a positive trajectory towards, you know, bringing in that age of Aquarius that we also want to come in. And so to me, that's what this feels like. This feels like there is definitely an opportunity for networking, an opportunity for you to express yourself, you know, reach the global community in some way, so that you have a positive effect on others. Okay, not just your home. Your home's already good, but also your, you know, cute, your human family, I would say. All right, so that's all I have for this reading for this week. Again, we have a lot of things that are happening in the shadows that are hidden in plain sight. So just watch out for that, but also hone in on your own intuition and trust that what you're being told, which is not a fear-based, I would say, or limiting, is correct. Okay, anything that is uplifting, anything that's higher vibrational, anything that brings you wisdom is correct. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.